Hello, Kevin here, and I've got Cynthia with me.
Hello.
Got sunglasses on, look, she thinks it's bright and sunny. Well, it is,
It is
bright and sunny, but we're in the shade. We're in the shade of this church, and we have come to Easebourne. We had nothing planned for today, but we thought, let's try and get a video in. So we've decided to come to Easebourne Church near Midhurst, and we're outside the Church of St Mary. We've been around the outside of the church before, never filmed inside, but let me just show you the notice board here. There it is. So we're on the east end of the church, and next door we've got this building here, and we'll explain more about that later on. So we're going to go into this porch on the north side of the church. Let's have a look inside. Hopefully there was nothing inside and we can get in. Yes, we can. Well, Cynthia and I are now inside the Church of St Mary's. Let me just give you a quick show around what we've got here. We're in the nave. Just in front of me, you've got the font, and that's the chancel area up there. Oh. 1279 Alicia, look at that. 1302 Isabel de Montfort. 1313 Elizabeth, 1327 Beatrice, 1339 Maria, 1362 Margaret Wyville, 1411 Marjorie, 1440 no name at all, 1446 Elizabeth, 1478 Agnes Tank, 1521 no name, 1535 Margaret Sackville, and then we've got the vicars from 1276 up to, I think, the present day. And the vicar here, he's absolutely fantastic. You could not wish for a better vicar. As I mentioned just now, you've got the font here, which is on stone. I don't know what stone it is. We've got no real information as such. Cynthia managed to print some out, but just to my left, we've got this tomb. Basically it's just set into the north wall, and here we are right in front of the chancel, and on the altar we've got the stone reredos behind, and some beautiful stained glass window. In the centre one there you've got Christ on the cross. I'm trying to get a little bit closer so you can see the rather lovely. They've got butterflies here, look at that, isn't that lovely? They look like almost like shooting stars. And then you've got the pearl drops there. I've never seen anything like that before. And I think this is the Christ and the disciples at the supper. And again, we've got what I think is shooting stars there. We've got two birds there, possibly doves, and then we've got the cross, and then we've got the pattern there. That there is, I will guess, an aumbrey in there. You don't very often see a piscina with doors on it, but that's my view from the chancel, looking back down through the nave. We've got this two rather ornate arches here in the chancel area. Well, just here we've got this huge, well, I'm assuming you would call this a monument, but you've got a gentleman up there, looks as if he's in prayer. Just here we've got a lady here, look, looks like a dog set into the bit there. I've got no idea who this is. Perhaps Cynthia can have a look on her bits of information she's got. It's a lot of inscription along the front here, which is very difficult to read in this light actually. We've got the coat of arms here on the side. We've got an old knight's helmet up there. Just here, it says here, underneath is laid what was more mortal of William Stephen Poyntz, Esquire. What's this? In proud and loving memory of these who gave their lives for their country. Which is lovely to see. Lovely remembrance there. And now here there's another. Underneath lie the mortal remains of the Honourable Elizabeth Mary Poyntz. Oh, look at that stained glass window. And that was put there in the year 2000. Isn't that beautiful? Lovely, lovely colours. Again, the ceiling is like an upturned boat. But I do like the stonework around this arch. That's beautiful. Really, really nice. And we got the sallies there hanging down from the bell tower. There's a plaque here. This church built above AD, Roman inscription, MCCXXX, was restored AD MDCCCLXXV1 by Charles George 7th Earl of Egmont. Earl of Egmont. Egremont is the Earl of Petworth, I think. That is Egmont. Could be the same family, just a slight different spelling, which you do get a lot from families. So we're outside now. And of course the headquarters for the Cowdrey estate is literally just across the road. And that is the building across there. So that's the offices for Cowdrey estate. And Cowdrey estate is a vast, vast estate. Well, just in front of me now, and I've got the sun directly in line with me, which is not good when you're filming, but I'm now right in front of the graves. Now I mentioned they were Viscount Cowdreys, which they are, but their surname is actually Pearson. Now this one is Weetman Harold Miller Pearson, and he is the second Viscount Cowdrey. Born 18th of April 1882, died the 5th of October 1935, and his wife Agnes Beryl, born the 20th of November 1881 and died the 19th of February 1948. Let me go over to these two, and it's going to be even more difficult to read these. Now this is, we've got Weetman John, and I can't read that. It almost looks like Churchill along there, but I don't know where that is. And it says Viscount Cowdrey. There should be a number there, but I don't know if there is or not. Oh, third Viscount Cowdrey, 1910 to 1995, and his wife Elizabeth, just can't read it. It's almost impossible. Now this is the third Viscount Cowdrey, and this is the Viscount Cowdrey when I was a young lad that was in charge of the Cowdrey estate. I did meet him once. I'm sorry for the angle of the camera, but that is absolutely impossible to read. But we'll try and find out about that. But as I say, I'm sorry about the angle of the camera there, because I was trying to read it and film at the same time. It's almost impossible to do that, especially when you've got the sun glaring down on you. I mentioned these tabletop tombs just here. The surname of all of them is Capron. Now there is a place in Midhurst called Capron House, which used to be the boarding house, or a boarding school. Boarding house at Midhurst Grammar School. So the fact that there's Capron there, it's got to be the connection between this family, or the surname of the family, and Capron House at the grammar school. And was it the girls' boarding house or the boys when we were at school? I think it was the boys, wasn't it?
Boys.
Yeah.
Well, they're both in the same building. It was just different parts of the building.
Different parts of the building. But Capron House is now the headquarters for South Downs National Park. Well, just here, let me just try and get out of the sun, is this building here, which is attached to the church, and it's attached via the south aisle, which is directly in front of me with the big window there. And this is where the Augustinian prioresses were, and I believe there was only 12 prioresses in there. We have got information about it, which we'll bring to you shortly. As I mentioned earlier on, that we didn't really have any information, but Cynthia did find this, and she brought this with us, so I'll bring this to you now. Elizabeth I of England came to the Priory on the 17th of August 1591 from Cowdray House as the guest of Anthony Brown, 1st Viscount Montague. And I quote, "where my lord himself kept house," unquote, and left on August the 20th. An actor playing the part of a pilgrim led her to an oak tree where the heraldry of all the county was displayed, and a wild man dressed in ivy explained their loyalty to her. The next day at a fish pond, an actor dressed as an angler spoke with a quote fisherman unquote, then addressed the Queen on the subject of loyalty. The speeches and entertainments were printed later that year. So that's interesting, because obviously we know the famous Queen Elizabeth Oak, which is near Benbow Ponds in Midhurst, and if anybody wants to visit that place, it's a lovely place to go. But we didn't know that Queen Elizabeth I came to the Priory.
No, didn't know that.
Didn't know it at all, did we?
No.
But that's a bit of interesting information that Cynthia found. That's great. So anyway, that's that about the Priory. Thanks very much. Well, that's it. Cynthia and I have finished at St Mary's in Easebourne. We're squinting. The sun's up there, which is not great to look at the camera. We've got the Pearson family graves just in front of us. We've got the backdrop of St Mary's behind us with these lovely, lovely trees. We're going to go off and we're going to try and find... Have we got time to do anything else today? Probably not, have we?
Well, let's see.
We'll see what we've got to do. Okay. So anyway, this will be Cynthia and Kevin saying bye-bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.